And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the April 2025 OC HMIS user meeting. If you haven't already done so, please enter your agency's name in the chat box along with your name so that we can take attendance for participation in the meeting. On the agenda today, we have the HMIS participating agency schedule. We have the CES housing assessment forms. We have the client consent form update. We have reassign case manager, program move, the agency setup review dashboard, the LSA data quality dashboards, the project performance report, training and resources. We have our Dropbox cleanup, and then our survey and Q&A, and then finally office hours. All of our meeting materials and recordings will be available on our OC HMIS website, and we will be sending out a wrap-up email. We do have a new functionality. Well, it's been a few months now, but you do have the ability on your Zoom screen to click Q&A. This helps us better to organize the questions that HMIS receives during the meeting. Our team recommends that you submit questions through the Q&A, and we request that you keep your questions general and related to the topics in the meeting. Agency-specific questions are best supported through our HMIS help desk submission, so our team is able to further investigate and provide assistance for your request. Our HMIS participating agency schedule is something that we're going to highlight every user meeting. As you can see, it's a bit of an eye chart, so we will be highlighting specific reports or things like our audits, our recertifications, and things like that in the next slide. So as you can see for April, we have the ongoing Hick and Pitt and a few reports. So specifically, we have some updates from HUD. So the System Performance Measures Report has been updated and now has a due date of April 11th. The housing inventory count and sheltered point-in-time count are pending updates from HUD when HDX 2.0 opens for the Hick and Sheltered Pit submission. We're pending the final HMIS and HDX data review. And then finally, the data quality report card corrections are due on April 18th. And this is an average data quality measure of January 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2025. So we wanted to highlight the client consent form update. As you know, we update this form quarterly, and it's the final page of the HMIS consent to share protected personal information form that has been updated to reflect the changes in the roster of HMIS participating agencies. This form can be found on our website by navigating to HMIS Forms and Documents, HMIS Policy and Privacy Forms, and then finally the consent to share personal information. Complete list of all agencies that are participating in OC HMIS can be also found on the link that is provided in the slide. And this is all of the active agencies in HMIS. So we do recommend if you have the client consent form in your packets or posted in your office, or if you take these forms with you out into the field, that you go to our website and download the new form. So we also have an update to the CES housing assessment forms. The CES housing assessment forms have been updated and are now available on our website. You can find the documents under HMIS Forms and Documents tab, the client data collection forms, and then finally CES documents. The two forms that have been updated are the coordinated entry individual housing needs assessments and the coordinated entry family housing needs assessments. It is now available in the following languages: English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so my colleague Elizabeth can show you where you can find these forms.
Thank you, Diana. Diana, can you confirm you see our website?
Yes.
Thank you. So I wanted to share the pathway to access the client consent form. So as Diana mentioned, going to the HMS form and documents, and then clicking the option HMS privacy policy and privacy form. And once you get here, you're going to see the consent to share information and the different form available. We have it in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. So when you click on the form, you're going to see the updated date at the top of the form. And it is the third page of the document that has been updated with all the active agencies that participate in HMS. And on this form is also a link to have access to a live list of agencies that come online. This form is updated quarterly, but if you would like an updated list, you can always click on that link to come to this form. And the other form we wanted to share the pathways to is the CS Housing Assessments form. So under HMS form and documents, select Client Data Collection form. The CS forms are listed under COC and ESG, as well as CS documents. So when you click those options, you'll see the housing entry, individual housing assessment forms, um, the three languages that we have available for that, as well as the family housing assessment. It is also available under our CS documents, so you'll see all the forms available. The updates are, again, the individual housing assessments as well as the family housing assessments. So when you click on these forms, you're going to see an updated date of March 2025. That is so you can verify these are the updated form to use.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, you should be seeing the slideshow, correct?
Yes, so you can see the slideshow. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Elizabeth. So moving on, we have Hugo. Hugo, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Good
No
morning,
worries.
everyone. Today I'm going to begin by going over reassigning case managers. Users who need to provide services to a client at their agency or to one served by a partner agency will need to change the assigned staff to themselves. The process for going over this is number one, confirm your agency access by navigating to the proper agency using the agency drop-down menu. Number two, search for the client's client profile record and select the edit icon. Number three, go to the client's programs tab and edit the program by selecting the edit icon next to the enrollment. Number four, locate the assigned staff section of the program and click on the edit icon to the right of the name. Number five, a drop-down menu will appear that has a list of all the active staff at the agency. Choose yourself from among the list and select Save Changes. Next slide, please. I also wanted to let users know that users who switch over to a partner agency will only be able to see a list of users at that agency. Agency administrators will not be able to reassign case managers from one agency to another. Therefore, case managers themselves must do so. For more information about this topic, you can review our Reassigning Case Managers KB article.
Okay, let me stop sharing so you can go ahead and do your demo, Hugo.
Hi, Diana. Can you see my screen now? I should be on the training site.
Yes.
Okay, great. So the first step to reassigning case managers is to first navigate to the client profile. In this example, I will be using this client right here. Once you have navigated to that client's client profile, you will need to ensure that you are working under the correct agency. In this example, I will be doing so for my primary agency, OC Training Agency, and you can verify this at the top right-hand corner. Next, I will navigate to this client's Programs tab, and I will go ahead and select the program that needs to be edited. In this case, it is the ESG funded Emergency Shelter Training Program because this program is operated under my primary agency, OC Training Agency. You select the pad and pencil icon to click edit. And then on the right-hand side of this landing page, you can see that this box appears with general program information. There's a section here titled Assign Staff, and I will go ahead and select on the pad and pencil icon. In this example, I will be changing the assigned staff from myself to another colleague at my agency. In this case, I will be selecting my colleague Diana, and I will go ahead and unselect myself. Now you can see that the assigned staff will be listed as Diana Taylor, and then you can click on Save Changes. You can see that these changes have been saved because the assigned staff now reads Diana Taylor. This is the workflow that you would go through when you need to change case managers at your own agency. If for whatever reason you are no longer able to provide services to a specific client because you are no longer working within that specific program. And this workflow is typically similar in situations where you need to reassign case managers at a partner agency. In this example, we'll go back to the Programs tab, and I will switch my agency from OC Training Agency to my secondary agency, a Springfield agency. As you can now see, my agency access reads a Springfield agency. I will go ahead and select the pad and pencil icon, and I will change the assigned staff on this landing page from my partner at the secondary agency, Elizabeth Duong, to myself. In instances where you need to change case managers at a secondary agency, it is a little bit more difficult because the assigned staff will only populate people who are staff members at that agency. So in this case, if my colleague Elizabeth Duong can no longer provide case management for this client because a Springfield agency is no longer, because a Springfield agency is not her primary agency, she would go ahead and contact someone from a Springfield agency, in this case myself, and I would manually go ahead and go through the process of making myself the new case manager. And I believe that's all on my end, Diana. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off back to you.
Thank you. Go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, you should be
Diana?
seeing the slides again.
Yes. Diana, could we go back to the slide right before the demo slide?
Yep.
Thank you, Hugo, for the information and demo. Just wanted to send a friendly reminder to our users that partner agencies, if you need to reassign this case manager, as Hugo mentioned, the users have to go in and directly reassign the case that client to their caseload. Agency admins will not be able to assist because they will not see their users because their users are not set to that primary agency. So for partner agencies, users will have to directly reassign if they're assigned to support that client. Thank you, Diana.
We'll go ahead and move on. Hugo?
Program move. If users mistakenly enroll a client in the wrong program, agency administrators can submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk to perform a program move and transfer that enrollment to the correct program if both programs share the same program template. Agency administrators should not request a program move for clients who need to transfer enrollments to continue receiving services due to funding constraints. Those clients should have two separate enrollments to maintain an accurate record of their enrollment history. More information about this topic can be found in our Deleting Program Enrollment KB article.
You, Hugo. Next, we have the agency setup dashboard. Amy?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So beginning this month, the HMIS team will send out the agency setup review dashboard quarterly for the agency administrators to review. The agency setup dashboard is available to HMIS users who need an overview of how their agency's projects are set up in HMIS. The dashboard is broken down into three parts: program descriptor data, funding sources, and bed inventory. The program descriptor data includes elements such as housing type and operating dates by project, but also includes the addresses associated with each project. Funding sources would include elements such as grant codes, funding amount, and start-in dates for each project by their source. Bed inventory includes information on elements such as the number of beds by household types. Please review the agency setup dashboard knowledge base article, which further outlines the report and includes a helpful 8-minute YouTube tutorial video that Diana put together, which goes into really great detail exploring each data element for the 3 sections. We'll continue on to the next slide, please. To run the agency setup dashboard, go to Reports, then click on the Data Analysis tab, select the drop-down for Orange County Clarity System Reports, and find the header titled Agency Management and hit Run. Once you are viewing the agency setup review report screen, the only filter that typically needs to be adjusted is the agency name, although you can also search by program name or type. Click on the button that says Is Any Value and find your agency from the list of options. Once the filter is set to your agency, you can go ahead and click Run. And then the report will generate in a downloadable CSV file for your review. When reviewing the report, please pay close attention to elements that may not be set up as expected or need to be updated. And if any corrections are needed for your program, the HMIS agency administrator for your organization may submit a help desk ticket for assistance with any corrections. The OCHMIS team will be uploading each agency's setup review dashboard to their Dropbox this Friday, April 4th. We can continue on to the next slide for our demo. And
Okay.
I will go ahead and share my screen.
Yep. Go ahead.
Thank you, Diana. Is everybody viewing the training agency site?
Yes.
Thank you for confirming. All right, we're going to go through a short demo here on how to access and review the agency setup review dashboard. So to begin, you'll notice that I am signed in on our training site, so we'll be reviewing fictitious program and participant information. I am signed in under the agency OC Training Agency. Our first step is to go to the Launchpad in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and from the options at the top, select Reports. And then from your three options at the top here, we're going to select data analysis. Then from these three options here, we're going to select Orange County Training System Reports. Although in the live site, it's just going to say Orange County System Reports. Go ahead and click the drop down, and from the headers, we're going to select Agency Management. And under there, you'll find the Agency Setup Review. We're going to go ahead and hit Run, and it will generate the report for us. This is what the report screen is going to look like. To make things a little bit more digestible for when reviewing the report, we're going to go ahead and apply our filters. You'll see the three filter options at the top here as agency name, program name, project type code. And as I mentioned earlier when reviewing the slides, you can enter your agency's name here. We're going to do OC Training Agency today. You can also further refine your search by selecting the programs of interest, but if you want to see information about all of the programs associated with your agency, you can just leave the one filter applied. And once you have the filter set up as you want, you can go ahead and click the little circle arrow, which is the update button, to run the report. And so sometimes it can take a moment to load. I have already set up a sample here on our training agency under the COC funded permanent supportive housing project. And you can see here, as referenced in the earlier slides, we have our three sections: program descriptor data, funding sources, and bed inventory. And I wanted to briefly touch on what to look for when you're reviewing this report under each of the sections. For program descriptor data, you're going to want to make sure that the agencies that are assigned to your project are correct, that they're named correctly, and that the site addresses are appropriate for that project. And you want to make sure that the housing type is appropriate for the type of services that are provided for that project. Under the funding sources, we're going to also review which funding sources are associated with which projects. Make sure that the funding source is appropriate for and expected for that project. You want to make sure that your funding dates are correct. So if any funding sources are no longer active or renewed, you make sure that you notify the OC HMIS team of ending funding sources that have ended so that we can apply an end date, or perhaps it's been renewed and there's a different grant amount. We'll need to update that information as well. Under bed inventory, please review the beds that are associated with each of the projects. Make sure that the household types are correct and that the total expected beds for each household type are correct. Due to construction or changes in funding, please also notify the OC HMIS team via the updating bed inventory form available on the OC HMIS website. And as I mentioned, you can download this report on the three buttons, top three dots in a vertical line. You're going to click the button and find download, and you can download this report as a CSV file for your review. And I'm going to stop sharing and hand it back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Amy. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, everyone should be seeing the slides, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So next up, we have the LSA dashboards. Rachel?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone is doing well. The HMIS team wanted to provide a couple of quick summaries and demos on two more helpful reports related to the LSA data cleanup. Moving forward, the HMIS team will send out the LSA data cleanup reports quarterly for agency admins to review. The first LSA data cleanup dashboard that we'll review is called Household and Enrollment Data Report. The Household and Enrollment Data Report is designed to identify common issues with household and enrollment data that impact LSA submissions. A few examples of common issues are program enrollment with no head of household, heads of households younger than age 6, clients with missing date of birth, clients born after their enrollment start date. To learn more about this dashboard, please review the LSA Data Cleanup, Household and Enrollment Data article in the Help Center. Next slide, please. To run the Household and Enrollment Data report, go to Reports, Data Analysts, Built-in Reports, LSA Data Cleanup, Household and Enrollment Data, and hit Run. Here you will adjust the agency name, filter to your agency or program name to a particular program in your agency. The reporting period and all other parameters are automatically set for you. Next slide, please.
Okay, let me go ahead and stop sharing.
All right. Can everyone see my screen, the OC Training Agency?
Yes.
Great. All right. So now I'll provide a quick demo on the Household and Enrollment Data Report. As you can see for this demo, I've already run this report ahead of time to save us a little bit of time. And here we have different household data issues. Here we have program enrollment household with no head of household. We scroll down more. We have head of households who are less than 6 years old. And clients with missing date of birth. And then here we have clients born after their enrollment start date. And then if you do want more specific information, you can hover over the little eyes. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Rachel. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, let's go ahead and move on.
Right. Okay. And then the second report is the LSA Data Cleanup Dashboard Overlapping Enrollments Data Report. The Overlapping Enrollments Data Report is designed to identify overlapping enrollments. This is helpful in identifying cases where a client needs an exit date on their enrollment, or perhaps situations where a client was accidentally enrolled in an incorrect project, or if an exit date is off by 1 day. A few examples of what data incongruencies could be flagged are those who have an emergency shelter and a PSH enrollment overlap, clients enrolled in 2 emergency shelter projects at the same time. And then to learn more about this dashboard, please review the KB on the LSA dashboards. Next slide, please. And to run this report, you will go to Reports, Data Analysis, Built-in Reports, LSA Data Cleanup, Overlapping Enrollments Data, and hit Run. Again, you'll adjust the overlapped agency name, filter to your agency, or overlapped program name to a particular program in your agency. And then again, the analysis period and all other parameters are automatically set for you.
Okay, let me go ahead and stop sharing so you can demo, Rachel.
All right. Can you confirm that you see the OC Training Agency screen?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So now I'll provide a quick demo on the overlapping enrollments data report. And again, for this demo, I've already run this report ahead of time to save us some time in this meeting. And here we have the overlapping enrollments. And the first example here shows that we have an emergency shelter project and another emergency shelter project here with the same client who is enrolled at the same time. This could indicate that the enrollment needs an exit date or that the exit date is incorrect, since a person cannot be in two emergency shelters at the same time. And again, here, if you hover over the little I, you can see more specifics about that. All right, I'll go ahead and stop sharing.
Thank you, Rachel. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can keep going. Okay, I believe you have one more. Okay. Well, I was incorrect in thinking you had another slide, so thank you, Rachel.
Oh, I do. It's okay. Great.
All right.
So please note that we will be uploading the revised LSA data cleanup reports in your agency's Dropbox by Friday, April 4th, 2025. And again, those are household and enrollment data report and overlapping enrollments report. And that's it for me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. And I just wanted to echo Rachel's notes that the KB that are shared will give some guidance on some of the data errors that you'll see in the report. As Rachel mentioned, there's some head of household errors. So in the KB, it will help you identify if you have specific errors and the steps to make those corrections. So please review the KB for additional guidance on those corrections, and feel free to submit a ticket if you run into a correction that you're unable to address at your agency. We'll further investigate and provide support with next steps.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Michaela?
Good morning, everyone. For the project performance reports or permanent supportive housing, other supportive housing, rapid rehousing, and transitional housing, they will be published on the OC HMIS website in the upcoming weeks. Current and past PPRs can be found at our website by navigating to Reports and Project Performance Reports. The Project Performance Overview is a helpful document which provides important information regarding the PPRs, including the thresholds of each goal and our publishing schedule. Next slide, please. Training and resources. The Office of Coordination, and in partnership with the Healthcare Agency, is hosting a training on how Coordinated Entry System, or CES, participants can become Mental Health Service Act MHSA certified. The training will be hosted virtually April 10th at 1 to 2 p.m. There is no need to register. Please join by using the meeting link. The Office of Care Coordination launched the Orange County CES Academy March 2025. It is a training platform and the launch of the CES 101 training module. Please use the link to be redirected to their website for training courses that they have available.
To note
Next.
sorry, could I share a quick note? Thank you,
Yes.
Michaela, for sharing. I also wanted to note that Amy is sharing a link to all of the links to the resources and training in the chat. So please feel free to access that document so that you have access to all the resources and links that we've shared in the meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The HMIS team would also like to announce the 2025 Dropbox cleanup schedule. AAs with access to their agency Dropbox will need to review their agency folder and download any desired records by Friday, April 18th. The HMIS Help Desk will be removing all Dropbox files on Monday, April 21st. So thank you in advance for all of your cooperation.
Michaela. Next up, we do have the HMIS meeting survey. The HMIS team invites users to complete the HMIS meeting survey. Please let us know what topics you're interested in review for the upcoming monthly meetings. We have had a lot of good feedback from our previous surveys, so we encourage the community to continue to provide feedback to us so that we get some ideas for topics for upcoming meetings. So we wanted to open it back up to the community. If you have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A section of our meeting. And if you haven't already done so, please enter your agency name and your name in the chat box for attendance.
Diana, we did have a question in the Q&A if we could go over reassigning case managers.
Okay.
Diana, would you mind going back to the slides so that we can review that and then also do a demo?
Okay.
Your question regarding the reassigning of case managers. So just wanted to note there is two process. So when you're reassigning to another staff, you will see a list of users under your primary agency. If you're going to reassign under a partner agency, you wouldn't be able to reassign to a coworker. That user would have to go in and directly reassign it because the list of users that you will see would only be the users at that primary agency. Anna, give me a second. I'm gonna get my screen ready to share.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. Thank you, Diana.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Thank you. Diana, can you confirm you see the training site?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So for my example, similar to Hugo, I'm going to be using the same client. My primary agency is going to be OC Training Agency. So if I click on this enrollment, I can go over here and adjust the assigned staff. So you can see for our training site, we set up all the agencies. This is your primary agency and you're a user under that agency. So I can see a full list of, of all the users that are under this agency. So I can assign it to myself as this is my primary agency and I can see all the staff that is part of my agency. When I'm switching over to a Springfield agency, this agency is my partner agency. So I would only be able to see assigned staff who their primary agency is a Springfield agency. So that's why when I see this list, I won't be able to see any other users unless that's their primary agency. Sharing and feel free to add questions into the Q&A box if there's any topics you would like us to go over again.
Elizabeth, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. We do have a question about the program move. Diana, could we go back to that slide?
Yep.
So the question was regarding the second bullet when an agency should not request a program move. So I wanted to clarify, the program move should occur if the client is enrolled into the wrong program. So just wanted to know that the program move will help agency reduce data entry because our HMS team can move the client to the correct program, which also helps keep the CES referral if that client was referral to a program. So it's a cleaner process to move the enrollment versus deleting and recreating the enrollment to the correct project. So please reach out to us if your agency comes across those situation where a program move is needed. For the second note, when a program move should not be requested is that if if a participant is enrolled and served under one program and the funding may have ended and they are now transitioning to another program that continues to have funding to serve the participant, we need to see the history that they were served under two specific grants. So it's ensuring that there's a history that shows that the participant was served and funding from two different grant was used to provide service to this participant. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Let me go ahead and I don't believe we're getting any more questions in our Q&A. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today for our user meeting. Have a great day, and our next user meeting is May 7th. We are going to be doing office hours at this time, so if you want to hop on for office hours, please feel free to stay on and we will address your questions.